Here we are, fellas. It's been a minute. So, in today's video, I'm going to show you guys what I've been working on the past few weeks while I have moved into my new place and whatnot. So, let's hop right into it. Today's video is going to be my all time San Jose Shark build for NHL 19 Hockey Ultimate Team. So it's May, NHL is winding down. Having a top hut team has been fun, but it's time to let go of the 99s and go after players I watched and followed for much of the last 20 years. That being said, I decided to put together my all-time Sharks build for NHL 19. This isn't just a list of the highest rated cards that played for the Sharks. For example, the 94 overall Jeremy Roenick. Well, he was one of the best players to ever wear the Sharks jersey. He played for the team at the tail end of his career and then spent much of his early broadcasting career ripping Patrick Marleau. So he didn't make my squad. So let's get started with it. I do need to mention that this is a mix-up and line combos and defensive pairings that are past, present, and future. I try to get a little bit creative with the lineup. Again, it's not just a mismatch of the top players to ever play for them. There's kind of some thought process behind it, so just keep that in mind. Also, sick Barstool shirt finally came in. So my fourth line consists of the future of the San Jose Sharks. Starting with Kevin Labanc, I got his playoff predictor card. He's had a career year this season, eclipsing 50 points for the first time, and he contributed 4 points in possibly the most memorable 10 minutes in Sharks playoff history. Next to him at center is the Sharks' best forward prospect in Sasha Chmelevski. Drafted in the 6th round in 2017, looks to be another steal for Wilson in the later rounds. Should be with the team as early as next season. He'll probably spend a year in the A, though. Finally, the right winger for the future line is the 96 Timo Meier, easily the best of the bunch. He's had his first 30-goal season and looks to be emerging as one of the better power forwards in the NHL. Thankfully, he got his international card because the next highest one was an 86 overall team of the week. This card also cost me like $800K. On to defense, the third pairing for my team consists of some legends. First is the 94 overall Rob Blake. While he only played a few seasons for the Sharks, he became captain and was a part of the best Sharks roster in team history prior to this year. Beside him is the 91 overall Scott Hannon. This was one of the hardest cards to get for this build, as alumni that were in packs for a short time aren't exactly flooding the market currently. Hannon was one of my favorite Sharks to watch in my first few years as a fan in the early 2000s, and was a part of one of the best moments in team playoff history when he helped kill a 5-on-3 against the Oilers when him and Kyle McLaren both broke their sticks for a full 2 minutes. This card cost me 95 Bishop to acquire. Yikes. Back to offense, the third line is the legend line. There were a few options for this one. I also would have loved a couple others. This is the 2000s line, starting with the 94 overall Teemu Selanne. Many people forget he was a Shark, but for parts of 3 seasons, he was their best player, leading the team in 2003 in points before bolting to the Colorado God Squad. At center is the 93 Owen Nolan. Obviously, the 97 is better, but I rushed through every offline challenge immediately at launch and had absolutely no desire to do 300 more in the progression challenge, so be it. Nolan was the Sharks' first franchise player before they drafted someone named Patrick Marleau. Easy pick. On their wing is the 91 Adam Graves, another card that cost far too much to actually get. This is the one I would have chose differently if the option was available. For example, Alan McCauley. He was one of my favorite Sharks when I first started watching, along with Vinny Damphousse. But alas, he played on the Sharks with Nolan and Selanne, so he's going to get the bump for the third line here. On to the second line, which is the current guys. Hertl led the Sharks in points from a forward this season and is becoming one of the better players ever drafted by Wilson. He's awesome to watch, great hands, and is a load on the forecheck. He also retired Marty Baron with a between-the-legs goal just a couple games into his career, so that's it. At center is Logan, one of the best playoff performers this decade and a true leader for the team. He put his team on his back in Game 7 against Vegas in those final 10 minutes, and he always seems to rise to the occasion and will be around for years. One of my favorites. And on their wing is the 86 overall Halloween Evander Kane. Stupid me is learning that if there is an untradeable choice pack sometime throughout the year, always pick the guy on your favorite team just in case you decide to do a team build later on. So no 91 Christmas Kane for me. He's a great agitator, loves to score, one of the most fun players to watch in the playoffs. Back on defense, the second pairing is a mix of future and present, starting with the 88 Diamond Ryan Merkley. I was hyped to see Wilson ignore the critics and take Merkley regardless of his defensive ability. He put on a show in the OHL, being over a point per game player in 188 games. The Sharks already have one offensive force that plays mediocre defense, so if there's a coaching staff to teach Ryan to play decently while lighting up the scoreboard, it's the Sharks. Next to him is Marc-Edouard Vlasic. I remember watching him play his first game, and he's grown into easily the best Sharks defender to be drafted by the team. One of the best defensive defensemen in the game. This is a super easy choice. Also one of the rarer cards. And the first line. These are the guys I grew up watching. I became a fan in 2003, and these three are easily the best I've gotten to see play for the Sharks. Starting with current captain Joe Pavelski, the best in the game at tipping pucks. Little Joe went from late round whatever into one of the better US-born hockey players. This is an easy pick. At center, this card cost me $900K. The Stanley Cup Thornton finally gives Jumbo an endgame hut card. Guy's a legend. Not really much else to say. One of the best players to ever play in the NHL. And on their wing, the 97 Flashback Marleau, my favorite player in Sharks history. His flashback card is also a wagon. No need to go into detail about this, really. These guys are all obvious Sharks legends, and any Sharks build is going to have them. And on to the first pairing on defense, the current stars, and a major reason as to why the Sharks are enjoying a decent playoff run here. The Team of the Year Burns is a great card and one of the best Sharks ever. Not much else to say here. Guy has one of the most deceptive wrist shots from the point in history. His partner didn't exactly enjoy the best year due to injury, but the 99 Team of the Year Karlsson is another simple pick. The only downfall is they're both right-handed, but honestly, I don't care. And finally, in net, another easy one. Jones, when he's on, is probably the best playoff goalie they've ever had. When he's not on, well, moving on. Evgeny Nabokov is the easy choice here, but unfortunately he seems to have not made it into the game, which sucks because he's without a doubt their best goaltender ever. Backing him up is Kelly Rudy. Not a ton of options. Belfour played 13 games with the Sharks. Niemi was below average, so without an Urbe card, it's Kelly by default. So the one downfall is the synergies I couldn't really dictate. Unfortunately, I'm not going to have Burner, and that kind of sucks because we're at the end game and there's 99s all over the place. And yeah, my guys are just, some of them aren't the fastest, but we're going to see how it goes regardless. So there you have it, guys, on my all-time NHL 19 Hut Sharks team. Let me know if you think I missed anyone or if I should have replaced some guys. I know Larionov was one, but I wasn't really a fan back then, and he just kind of had one big moment with the Sharks. That's one I get a lot on Reddit. So I'm going to be using this team for the rest of the game. Come check me out on Twitch, 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern Time, Monday to Friday. Link is down below. And subscribe and like the video if you did enjoy it. All right, guys, I'm NoSleeves12. Have a good one. Also, go Sharks. Please eliminate the Avalanche tonight.